Hello, everyone. Welcome to our mid-season NBA awards show in what should be a ton of fun here on January 27th. Most teams have played, at bare minimum, a good amount of games so far and make that 45 to just about 50 for every single team. That is enough games for me to hand out my official first half of the season awards. So, we are ready. We're excited. We got some people in the chat here saying check the fit. And, well, I have to be dressed up for what is a monumentous night. As, of course, this is our first award show officially here on the CollingsThodeNetwork in what is a very long time. Of course, this used to be a staple with Nolan and I back in the day, and well, that's the thing here at the CollingsThode These are my awards. So if you disagree, don't go after Nolan. Give your picks in the comments or in the chat, as that will be the best way to argue with me, because I love replying to y'all. So let's get into it with our official NBA awards, starting with the MVP. We have three candidates for MVP: Cade Cunningham, Victor Wembanyama, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the winner of MVP will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A very impressive start to the season for Shai. He's averaging 32.1, 6.2 assists, and 4.4 total rebounds. He's the heart and soul of the Thunder. I mean, he has been for not quite a decade yet, but we're coming up close. I think it was around the 2018 season he joined this team, and yeah, he's amazing. Back-to-back MVP for me. Shout out to Cade Cunningham, though. First place in the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Pistons. If you said this 3-4 years ago, you would have been laughed at, but we're in a world today where he is leading this team. He's elite at scoring, and honestly, he's similar to a LeBron James for that team, if we are being honest with each other. And then third place, Victor Wembanyama. He would be first if he played every single game and didn't get stuck on a minutes restriction. A lot of that leads to him not scoring 20 points per game, but I think he is over that mark this season. It's just the consistency for me. If he was playing every single game, he'd be my MVP. Moving on to Defensive Player of the Year, which should be a hotly contested award, especially among us Raptors fans. And while that might fuel my award pick, let me tell you my nominees, as it is Scotty Barnes, Victor Wembanyama yet again, and Chet Holmgren. My winner for first half Defensive Player of the Year is Scotty Barnes. Congratulations, Scotty Barnes, on being my first half Defensive Player of the Year. I call him Mr. Wall Street. We're going to see if I could get that to stick, as he is the league leader in stocks. Mr. Wall Street owns NASDAQ with 155 stocks. That is, I'm pretty sure it was, or maybe it's 153. I actually don't. No, it's 55 steals and 83 blocks, which is 155, I think. Or 156. I actually don't. I'm sitting at a computer. We could just look this up. I don't know why I'm debating with myself when I literally have the number in front of me. His blocks this season are at 69. His steals are at 62. That is number one in the NBA right now. Not quite 155. I don't know where I got that number from. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But a great season regardless. That is just about 131. So Mr. Wall Street is my pick for Defensive Player of the first half of our season. Coming up in second is Victor Wembanyama. Again, if he was playing every game, he would win this award. Teams literally play differently against the Spurs than every other team in the league, and that's because of one man, Victor Wembanyama, and then Chet comes third. He's literally just the white Victor Wembanyama. Slightly worse at everything, but he's quite tall, and he's quite good at blocks. Moving on to our Rookie of the Year, which has been, wow, what a season for rookies. We do not see this very often from the young talent in this league. Guys like Con Kneppel, guys like VJ Edgecombe, and guys like Cooper Flagg. There's so many more names that I'm not even listing. Guys like Ace Bailey, who's really coming into his own lately. let's see the other rookie leaders this season, because Ace Bailey, I want to give him some love. He's been great in the minutes he's played. Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen, both on the Pelicans, two of my favorite rookies in this class. I have a Derek Queen jersey, and I'm not giving him this award. It almost feels wrong. Cedric Coward, another guy that deserves mention here. He has been so good for Memphis that they could legitimately trade Ja Morant and be in a good position. But let me give you my winner for this award. That is going to be Cooper Flagg. Congratulations, Cooper Flagg. Much deserved, as this has been quite a tight race between him, Con Kneppel, and VJ Edgecombe. All three rookies that one day could lead a team. Kneppel probably the least likely of the three, but I'm still going to put him in second place. So Cooper Flagg, first place, is averaging 18.8, 6.4, and 4.1 in an 11-game stretch just earlier this year, about a week or two prior to my recording of this. It was his 11-game stretch. He was averaging 25.5, 6.4, and 4.5. What an incredible season he's been having so far. Shout out to Cooper Flagg. He is the most consistent of the three. Well, consistent of the entire rookie class, but consistent of my three options here. As Con Kneppel, also highly consistent. One of the best three-point shooting rookies of all time. He just doesn't have that takeover power that Con Kneppel or a guy like VJ Edgecombe has. And VJ Edgecombe, I think he legitimately has the chance to be an MVP. I really think he could be the best player overall from this class. He's a guy that definitely needs a bigger role. And yeah, he's a rookie, so he's going to be stuck on the back burner for now. But a guy like Ace Bailey has a huge role now that he has earned it through good play to start this season. It's something I could see for VJ Edgecombe. Of course, he's buried behind Maxey, George, Paul George, that is, and then Joel Embiid on that team, plus many other options. Plus, the 76ers are bad. So, maybe it's time to just give VJ Edgecombe the keys there. That's my opinion. So, moving on, sixth man of the year, which should be another really tightly contested award. I'm not giving it to Peyton Pritchard this year. I don't like the cut of his jib. Something about him just annoys me. Maybe it's just the fact that he plays for Boston. I just don't. He's not even in my consideration. So, top three for me is Naz Reid, Keldon Johnson, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. And it's so hard not to pick Naz Reid. He's been on my fantasy team. He's literally the name of my fantasy team. It's Naz Reid. Or Naz Reid. That's probably a better way of saying it. I love the man, but he comes second place. As my leader for sixth man of the year and winner of the first half is going to be Jaime Jaquez Jr. What a season for him so far. I mean, he's got the most points per game out of any of my three options. He's moving the ball because he has the most assists out of my options. I picked all wings or big men here. And then 5.4 rebounds. He's no slouch. So his full numbers coming off the bench so far this season is 15.3, 5.4, and 4.7. A very, very productive year for Jaime Jaquez Jr. coming back from what it was a very down sophomore slump of a season. He could be in consideration for most improved player if we didn't have three heavy hitters coming up next. So, last point about Jaime Jaquez Jr. is the fact that the Heat lead the league in pace and were leading in points per game for a very long time. I'm not sure if they still are. I definitely need to update myself on that number, but they never lost that pace when the second unit came out. And a big reason for that is because they had a dynamic scoring, ball-moving wing in Jaime Jaquez Jr. So congratulations, Jaime Jaquez Jr. I feel it's very, very deserved here. As Naz Reid, the fan favorite, leads the leads the Wolves' second unit. Naz Jr. Let me scroll down here. Naz Reid, the fan favorite. He leads the Wolves' second unit, the backup big man to Rudy Gobert, who, Rudy Gobert does not offer much offense. So, the basically 15 points per game that Naz Reid offers, so valuable. Of course, he is also an elite sniper as a big man. He averages 39% from three-point range, and he shoots it. And he's one of those guys that has a jumper that doesn't dip downwards first, and many players love commenting on that. So shout out Nas Reed. And then my third place vote, Keldon Johnson from the Spurs. He is so excellent in any minutes he plays with Victor Wembanyama. A great, I almost said good, a great spot-up shooter beyond the three-point range, and some of the most fun dunks in the league. He's one of the best dunkers I've seen live, like not live in person, but live on TV. He's up there with some of my least favorite players in the league, like Miles Bridges, as great dunkers. So shout out Keldon Johnson. He is shooting 40% on threes. It's like 39.9%. He has been incredible this season. Moving on to our sixth man of the year as not six man. That we just did six man. Moving on to our most improved player of the year, and what a season for improvement here. Three guys that have proven to be able to lead a team in their own right. The three names I have are Keontae George, Denny Avdia, and Jalen Johnson. My winner, my official pick for most improved player, maybe it's a bit biased because I like watching him play the most, but it has to be Keontae George. Congratulations, Curious Keontae George. I love watching you hoop. He will drop a 40 and 10 assist game. I didn't want to get rid of Keontae. He will drop a 40 and 10 assist game, and then the next day probably score 6. But most of the time, it's the former. Those 6-point games are kind of ugly though. Keontae George this season is averaging 24.2, 6.6 assists, and 3.9 total rebounds. A highly athletic, great sharpshooting guard that can make is one of the most important archetypes to have in the modern game. The Warriors, of course, had this with Steph Curry, Damian Lillard on the Blazers. He led them to everything they had in the last decade. We see it with so many teams, currently SGA, and the Thunder is probably the best example of this. Keontae George, I love what he can become. So most improved player of the first half goes to him. And that's behind Jalen Johnson, who's averaging just over 20 points, 10 rebounds, and like 7 assists. A walking triple-double when he's on. When he's off, just like Keontae George, not very fun to watch. Honestly, though, Jalen Johnson might be the closest thing to LeBron James we have. The way he grabs rebounds, gets assists, and scores. Forget Paulo Banchero, it might be Jalen Johnson. So he comes second, and then third for me is Denny Avdia. While Denny leads all three of these guys in pretty much all stats, not rebounds, but points, assists, and then he's not shabby at all when it comes to rebounds. I just don't see him as a winner in the modern game. His foul-heavy, inside, slow-it-down game just doesn't fit into a game that relies heavy on the kickouts, the three-pointers, and ball movement. A lot of the good teams that we've seen, other than the Thunder last year, don't rely on their number one guy getting to the line 10 times a game. And at that, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only gets to the line about 6, 7, 8 at most times per game. It's just the way he does it is ugly. Versus a Denny Avdia, who goes to the line 10 times a game. When the playoffs come and that whistle tightens up, I don't think he has the skill set that's transferable to winning basketball. While he's a good player, I don't think he could be great. So shout out Keontae George. You're my winner. I know Denny Avdia is leading the race. He's leading all betting markets, and he's probably going to win this award. But for my money, give me Keontae George. And we are going to be rounding it off right here with our newest award added to the NBA, the Clutch Player of the Year. I'm not going to be giving you guys my all-NBA teams because that seems more just like a top 15 NBA players right now video, which that's completely separate. I would love to do that a different time, but that's a more end-of-season activity, especially dead of off-season, as we still got plenty to talk about upcoming this season. So we're having a special day here because I don't really want to talk about Leafs versus Sabres, if we're being honest with each other. So here we are, Clutch Player of the Year. After that brief intermission, my three candidates are Giannis Antetokounmpo, Tyrese Maxey, and the winner of this award, Donovan Mitchell. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. A very, very good season. The glue of this Cleveland Cavaliers team. If it was not for this man right here, that team would be in the lottery. And I don't even know if they have their own pick because everything seems to be dysfunctional. Darius Garland can't stay healthy. I love the guy. I have his jersey, but he cannot stay healthy. Jarrett Allen has not had it this year. Has just not been the same guy that we have come to know and love from the Fro. It's not as much fun to watch. And don't get me wrong, they have a supporting cast, but where are they? I mean, they're giving key minutes to guys like Dean Wade, I think. At least they used to. Let's find out. Dean Wade still on the Cavs? Yes, he is still on the Cavs, and he has been. He's playing 23 minutes a game. Dean Wade, everyone. Dean Wade, 18 games started. I'm sorry to pile on him, but, I don't like his supporting cast. That's why he deserves to be the clutch player of the year. That and the fact that in the fourth quarter, he is second place in points per game at 8.7 on 50% shooting. He also adds 1.6 assists and 1.4 rebounds, which is pretty standard for fourth quarter stats. We love Spida round here. Donovan Mitchell, great season so far. The heartbeat of this Cavs team. Shoutouts go to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He would win this award for me if it wasn't for his injury and the amount of games the Bucks were losing with him. He played 25 games, and he averaged just over 9 points per game in the fourth quarter. Most of the times the Bucks would actually scratch out a win, it would be all because of one man, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Since he's gone down with his injury, wow, that team has struggled. So, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you deserve this award, but you're not going to play enough games. And then my third place vote goes to Tyrese Maxey. I really think he's the best player on the 76ers. Joel Embiid missed a lot of time to start this season and then slowly ramped up. We've seen him in the past couple weeks really elevate to that star MVP level again, but we didn't see that for a couple months. And it was Tyrese Maxey holding this team together. Of course, VJ Edgecombe was a huge help to him, but he was the veteran leader, Tyrese Maxey. So, shout out to him in the fourth quarter, averaging 7.7 points and, winning a lot of games for a team that right now would be losing to the Raptors in the first round. So thank you everyone so much for watching my award ceremony. This has been Curtis Collings signing off. Peace.